Everyone admired her beauty until the day she burned her own happiness with envy. They called her the most beautiful bride 7 villages had ever seen. Her wedding was a celebration that people still talk about today. She had everything: a loving husband, a good home, respect from the elders. But jealousy is like a slow poison. It doesn't kill you quickly. It waits, it whispers, and before you know it, the very hands you used to build your life are the same hands tearing it down. Before we begin, my friend, if you love true African stories that teach life lessons, stories about real people, real mistakes, and real redemption, hit that subscribe button and join our storytelling family. Don't just watch and disappear. Stay with us. We have many more stories to share. Now sit back, relax, and let me tell you a story you'll never forget. A long time ago, in a small village surrounded by tall palm trees, cassava farms, and a winding river that sang softly at dawn, there lived a young woman named Amara. This was the kind of village where everyone knew everyone, where the smell of roasted maize filled the air every evening, where women pounded yam in wooden mortars, poom, 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 and their laughter echoed through the compound, where children chased chickens barefoot in the red dust, where smoke rose from clay pots at sunrise, and the elders sat under the big iroko tree, sharing stories and settling quarrels. It was a peaceful place, a place where life moved slowly like the river, a place where respect, kindness, and family came before gold. And in this village, there was no woman more beautiful than Amara. Amara was the daughter of Chief Okonkwo and Mama Okonkwo, simple, respected people who had given the village many gifts: food during hunger, wisdom during confusion, prayers during trouble. But Amara was something special. Her skin glowed like fresh honey under the sun. Her eyes were wide and bright like the full moon. Her teeth were white as coconut flesh. Her waist moved like water when she walked. When she smiled, even the sun seemed to pause and watch. When she laughed, the crickets stopped chirping just to listen. She was not just beautiful, she was breathtaking. And when she married Chukwudi, the son of a wealthy yam farmer, the entire village celebrated. Drummers came from far away. Women cooked it jollof rice in giant iron pots. Children danced barefoot in the dust, and elders nodded their heads in approval under the big Iroko tree. Amara is blessed, and they said. She has beauty, a good husband, and a loving family. What more can a woman want? Chukwudi loved her deeply. He was tall, strong, and hardworking. Every morning before the sun rose, he would go to the farm and return in the evening with yams, cassava, and plantains. He built her a fine house with strong walls and a roof that didn't leak. He brought her beautiful wrappers from the city: red ones, blue ones, green ones with golden threads. He called her my queen and never raised his voice at her. Her mother in law, Mama Chukwudi, was kind too. She taught Amara how to make the best egusi soup, how to pound fufu without sweating too much, and how to tie her wrapper in the style of their clan. She treated Amara not like a stranger, but like her own daughter. Amara should have been happy. She should have thanked the gods every morning and every night. But there was something inside her, a small dark seed that began to grow. Jealousy. It started small, so small she didn't even notice it at first. But jealousy, my friend, jealousy is like a tiny crack in a clay pot. You don't see it at first, but slowly, slowly, the water begins to leak out, and before you know it, the pot is empty. One market day, Amara went to buy palm oil with her friend Ngozi. Ngozi was also married, but her husband was not as wealthy as Chukwudi. Her wrapper was old and faded, her slippers were torn, her baby cried on her back as they walked. Amara, Ngozi said with a tired smile. You are so lucky. Your husband buys you everything. Look at my life, and I struggle every day. Amara smiled sweetly, but inside she felt a strange pleasure. Yes, she thought, I am luckier than Ngozi. I am better than her. Then they passed another woman, Adaize. Adaize had wanted to marry Chukwudi before Amara came into his life. Now she was married to a fishman. She was carrying a basket of fish on her head, and her feet were muddy from the riverbank. When Adaize saw Amara, her face tightened. She greeted her, but her voice was cold. Amara greeted back, but her heart swelled with pride. That night, when Chukwudi came home from the farm, Amara said to him casually, I saw Adais today, and the poor thing, her husband is just a fisherman. She was carrying fish like a common trader. Chukwudi frowned. Amara, why do you say that? There is nothing wrong with being a fisherman. Her husband works hard. But Amara laughed lightly and waved her hand. I'm just saying, thank God I married you and not someone like him. Chukwudi said nothing, but his face was troubled. As the months passed, Amara's jealousy grew like wild grass in the rainy season. She began comparing herself to every woman in the village. When a woman wore a beautiful wrapper, Amara would whisper to her friends, her wrapper is nice, Sha, but mine is better. Hers is from the local market, mine is from the city. When a woman cooked a good meal, Amara would say, it's okay, but not as sweet as mine. When a woman's husband bought her a gift, Amara would smile and say, that's small. My husband bought me 3 wrappers last week. She didn't just compare, she gossiped. She would sit with other women under the mango tree, grinding pepper and talking, and slowly she began to plant seeds of discord. Have you heard? She would whisper. Ngozi's husband was seen drinking too much palm wine at the market. And Adaizi's baby cries all night. They say she doesn't feed him well. Mama Nika's soup is too salty. No wonder her husband eats at his friend's house. The women would gasp and laugh, and Amara would smile, feeling powerful. She loved being the one with the news, the one who knew everything, the one everyone listened to. But her mother in law, Mama Chukwudi, began to notice. One evening, she sat beside Amara as she was peeling yam and said gently, my daughter, why do you talk so much about other people? Amara looked up surprised. Mama, I'm just talking. Everyone talks. Yes, Mama Chukwudi said quietly, but not everyone plants weeds in other people's gardens. A mouth that gossips destroys more than fire. Amara hissed softly and turned away. Mama, you worry too much. But the old woman shook her head and walked away, her heart heavy and still. Amara did not listen. Soon Amara's gossip began to poison her own home. One night, Chukwudi's younger brother, Emeka, came to visit. He had just lost his job in the city and was looking sad and tired. Chukwudi welcomed him warmly and said, stay with us. We have food. We have space. You are my brother. But Amara was not happy. She didn't want anyone staying in their house. That night, when they were alone, she said, Chukwudi, why did you invite him to stay? He will eat our food and disturb our peace. Chukwudi looked at her in shock. Amara, he is my brother. He has nowhere to go. He is lazy, Amara said coldly. He will never leave. Before you know it, your whole family will come and live here. Chukwudi's face darkened. What has happened to you, Amara? You were not like this before. But Amara turned her back and pretended to sleep. The next day, she made sure Emeka felt unwelcome. She served him small portions of food. She didn't greet him in the morning. She complained loudly about how crowded the house was. After 2 weeks, Emeka left quietly, his heart broken. Chukwudi was angry. You have driven my brother away. Good, Amara said. Now we can have peace. But there was no peace, only cold silence. Amara's jealousy grew into suspicion. She began to imagine things that were not there. When Chukwudi talked to another woman in the market, she accused him. Who is she? Why were you laughing with her? She is my cousin, Chukwudi said, tired. Liar! Amara shouted. You want to leave me for her because she is younger. Amara, stop this madness, Chukwudi pleaded. But she wouldn't stop. She checked his clothes for strange smells. She followed him to the farm. She questioned him every evening. She cried. She accused. She created fights out of nothing. The villagers began to talk. Amara has changed. That beautiful bride is now full of bitterness. Her husband is suffering. Every day they quarrel. Even Mama Chukwudi could no longer bear it. One morning, she sat Amara down and said firmly, My daughter, jealousy is eating you like termites eat wood. If you don't stop, you will destroy your own home. But Amara shouted back, Everyone is against me. You all want me to fail. The old woman stood up slowly, tears in her eyes. I have tried. May the gods help you. And she left the house and went to live with her other son in the next village. Now Amara was truly alone. Chukwudi no longer spoke to her unless necessary. He no longer called her my queen. He no longer smiled. He ate his food in silence and slept facing the wall. The house that was once full of laughter was now full of silence, the kind of silence that screams louder than words. Amara looked at herself in the mirror one morning and noticed something strange. Her eyes were dull. Her face looked tired. The glow she once had was fading. Beauty can decorate the face, but humility builds the home. She had everything: a good husband, a fine house, respect, and she was losing it all because of her own tongue, because of her pride, because of her jealousy. One night she couldn't sleep. She sat outside under the stars and looked at the quiet compound. The chickens were asleep. The fire had died. Even the moon seemed dim. And then she heard a voice, soft, ancient, and wise. It was Mama Ifeoma, the oldest woman in the village. She was walking home slowly with her walking stick, tapping the ground, tap, tap, tap. She stopped and looked at Amara. My child, she said gently, why do you look like a woman who has lost everything? Amara's eyes filled with tears. Mama, I don't know what is wrong with me. Mama Ifeoma sat down beside her. I will tell you. Jealousy is the snake that bites the hand that feeds it. You wanted to be better than everyone, so you tore them down. But in tearing them down, you tore yourself apart. Amara began to cry. What do I do, Mama? My husband no longer loves me. His family has left. I am alone. The old woman touched her hand. Beauty brought you into this home, but it is your heart that will keep you here. A beautiful face does not cook food. A beautiful face does not raise children. A beautiful face does not forgive. If you want peace, you must dig out the jealousy in your heart like a rotten tooth. But how? Amara sobbed. Start with silence, Mama Ifeoma said. Stop talking about others. Stop comparing. Stop suspecting. Then ask forgiveness from your husband, from his family, from the people you hurt with your words. Humility is the water that washes away pride. And with that, the old woman stood up and walked away, her stick tapping softly into the night. The next morning, Amara woke up with a new heart. She swept the compound. She cooked Chukwudi's favorite soup, egusi with plenty of meat. She said nothing when he didn't thank her. She just kept working quietly, humbly. Days turned into weeks. She stopped gossiping. When women tried to pull her into their chatter, she smiled and walked away. When Ngozi greeted her, she greeted back warmly and asked, "How is your baby? How is your husband?" When Adaeze passed by, she nodded with respect and even helped her carry her basket. She went to Emeka's house and knelt down. "I was wrong. I was wicked. Please forgive me." Emeka was shocked, but he nodded. "It is okay, sister." She went to Mama Chukwudi and knelt down. "Mama, I have been a terrible daughter. Forgive me." The old woman cried and held her. "I have been waiting for this day." Finally, at one evening, she knelt before Chukwudi. "My husband," she said, her voice shaking, "I have destroyed our home with my own hands. I let jealousy poison my heart. I hurt you. I hurt your family. I am sorry. I don't know if you can forgive me, but I am asking." Chukwudi looked at her for a long time. His eyes were wet. Then slowly he lifted her up. "Amara," he said, his voice breaking, "I have missed my wife." And he held her. From that day, the house changed. Laughter returned. The smell of good food filled the air again. Chukwudi called her my queen again. Mama Chukwudi moved back in. Emeka visited often, and Amara welcomed him with open arms and full plates. The villagers noticed too. Amara has changed. She greets everyone now. She no longer gossips. Her home is peaceful again. Years later, when Amara had children of her own, she would tell them this story. She would say, "I was the most beautiful bride in the village, but beauty could not save my home. It was my jealousy that almost destroyed it, and my humility that rebuilt it." My friend, let me tell you something. Jealousy is a fire that burns the one who lights it. A proud woman builds her home with mirrors, but only humility makes it stand. You can have the most beautiful face in the world, but if your heart is full of envy, bitterness, and pride, you will destroy everything you love with your own hands. Beauty may open doors, but only a humble and grateful heart can keep them open. A mouth that gossips digs two graves, one for others and one for yourself. Peace is not built with pride, it is built with love, patience, and a quiet tongue. So if you have a good home, protect it. If you have a good husband or wife, honor them. If you have family, cherish them. Don't let jealousy eat away what God has given you, because in the end, beauty fades, but wisdom lasts forever. If this story touched your heart, don't just watch and leave. Hit that like button. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe for more real African stories that teach the soul. We have many more lessons to share. Until next time, my friend, stay blessed, stay humble, and remember, your heart is your true mirror.